I'm going to repeat myself. My, how things have changed. First off, on Russia. Roll tape.
Governor Romney, I'm glad that you recognize that al-Qaeda is a threat. Because a few months ago, when you were asked what's the biggest geopolitical threat facing America, you said Russia. Not al-Qaeda, you said Russia. And the 1980s are now calling to ask for their foreign policy back because, you know, the Cold War's been over for 20 years.
Right now, we're not getting along with Russia at all. We may be at an all-time low in terms of relationship with Russia.
Well, there you have it. Let's bring in Lisa Boothe, Fox News contributor and Washington Examiner columnist.
Hi, Stuart.
That's a switch. And there's been a switch on Janet Yellen, on the dollar, on NATO. Why, all of a sudden, all these switching around of policies and personnel?
Well, you know, I think, Stuart, President Trump has always kind of positioned himself as being flexible, as someone who wants to extract something from someone, sort of that art of the deal. So, I mean, I don't necessarily think it's surprising that he would have some changes as president of the United States. And in regards to Russia, I think President Trump always desired to work with Russia, and I think what he's realizing is that might not be the smartest approach. And I would say it's probably a good thing that he's realizing this in short order versus President Obama, who, you know, for 8 years basically let Russia do whatever they want. I think what President Trump is realizing is that Russia is a bully, and he responds to force.
Would you say that President Trump is becoming more pragmatic and less ideologically driven?
But I think he's always been pragmatic. I think it's really been the media. I think President Trump has always left it. Like, look at what's going on with China, for instance. I think President Trump realizes that he needs China in regards to dealing with North Korea, who is allegedly set to, you know, test a nuclear weapon. So, and you look at the, you know, North Korea is becoming increasingly unhinged. So I think he realizes that it is more important to have China helping us in regards to North Korea. Right, exactly. They
are helping us, and maybe that's a chalk that one up as a win for President Trump, because as we oppose Russia, or Russia opposes us more forcefully, then we are moving more towards China, and they're moving more towards us. It's almost Nixonian, isn't it, when you're mixing Russia, China, and the United States?
Well, I think President Trump has always I mean, look, this is a guy who has been, you know, dealing with sort of international business world. So I think he's always had a lot more discernment than he has been given credit for. And I think what President Trump is saying right now is, you know, basically someone who has inherited an incredibly dangerous world. So he needs to figure out how he can leverage certain countries to try to essentially protect Americans and deal with some of these hostile situations that he's looking at around the world, because he's not only looking at an increasingly hostile situation in Syria, North Korea as well, you know, Russia, who's really gained, you know, a stronger position in the Middle East and Syria because of President Obama and not dealing with the Syrian conflict, as well as Iran. So he really needs to pick and choose his battles.
He's cleaning up the mess, that's for sure. But
yeah,
he's also running headlong into reality. Lisa, I'm sorry, I'm out of time. I've got to get to everybody's money for a second. But Lisa Boothe, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you, Stuart.